It's quite resilient. Is gang stalking real? I get asked that question like genuinely, like from people. Like I've always been a credible source, like a credible person. Like I've never been about like if I say something, the people that know who I am know that I mean what I say. From living proof and example, they know that I don't make shit up. I don't I'm a realist. I can only fuck with what is real and what is true, you know what I mean? In the end of the day, it's just that is my nature. That is who I am as a person, period. You know what I mean? So when people start, you know, hearing me talk about shit like gang stalking, and they've known me to be a credible, very down to earth, very intelligent person, kind of look at me like, did this guy lose his fucking mind? Like, what the fuck is gang stalking, bro? Like, are you serious? You know what I mean? And they kind of just, I think it's kind of funny because it kind of forces people to have to accept that there is something going on that they are not aware about, that they probably wouldn't believe in, but when they see somebody like me that they know that they can bet on, that they know is credible, from watching me in my life, how I deal with scenarios and situations, they realize I must be onto something. I must have figured something out. A lot of people just accept that and say, okay, fine, it exists, but I don't want to say, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And then there's other people like, shit, maybe this shit is real, but why? It don't make any fucking sense. Why would anybody waste their energy or time, or any organization, so on and so forth? The basic, typical, you know, um, questions at the beginning of a realization. But I wrote something in regards to the question, is gang stalking real? So I wrote this. It was pretty dope. I just sent it to my Facebook because I can't look at it in my notepad at the same time as I'm running a video. So anyways, it goes like this. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not there. There are a lot of things going on in this world we wouldn't believe unless we witnessed it or experienced it firsthand ourselves, right? We don't believe in things we can't see, touch, or prove are there, which is the basic 90% majority of the population are like that. That's their basic logic. That's the main logic to the rest of the world. If I can't see it, because there's so much deception in the world that people can't bet on things anymore, you know what I mean? They can't trust things anymore. But you got to know when and where to use your senses, you know. But anyways, you believe in oxygen, but you can't see it, and it keeps you alive. But you won't believe in a God that you can't see because you can't prove it, because you can't see it. You can't see its existence. So you say it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? And then you start getting angry that you can't prove that it exists. So you start saying things like, oh, the Bible, and it brainwashes you, and religion, and you know what? Jesus was against religion. I'm a follower of Christ. I don't follow religion. I don't follow, and neither did Jesus. That's the biggest deception of the world, is that they think, you know, um, there's people that come in Jesus' name, like people that claim that they're Christians, and they do evil things intentionally, like they rape women, like pedophilia and shit like that. Like some priests and shit like that have diddled kids and shit like that. And then people look at it, that's your religion, that's Christianity. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what the devil wants. He wants to infiltrate everything that Jesus represented, and then make it into something disgusting, and then turn the world away from God, and turn the world away from Christ. And that's deception. You know what I mean? So how are you going to do that? You're going to pretend to be a part of Jesus' little team there, and you're going to do evil things, and then people are going to hate God. They're going to hate Jesus. They're not going to believe in it. You know what I mean? And they're going to say, that's what your Bible represents, that's what your God represents, you know what I mean? And that's what turns the world away from it. But it's just sad, you know what I mean? I made a video about this. I'll leave the link in the description, but It's just a matter of like, what a better way to destroy a whole army of people. Go join their gang, go rape women and fucking diddle kids. I'm not actually saying to do that. Obviously, I rebuke that in Jesus' name. But um, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna come join your team. They're gonna do dirt, and your whole team's gonna look like shit. You know what I mean? But the leaders are looking at this fucking imposter over here that's saying he's a Christian, that's raping and doing these disgusting things, and then we're looking at him like, bro, you ain't a part of our team. We don't do that shit. We don't represent that. We don't allow that. So you're not a part of this. But then the rest of the world looks at that person like, yeah, that's Christianity. Those are Christians. Just because we had these people infiltrate what Christ truly represented, which was love and peace and clarity. Jesus never raped. He never, did any of those disgusting things. Never did any wrong. That was not of Christ. That was not the story of Christ. That was not the experience that people had with Jesus Christ. It doesn't exist. It's false. Okay. Um, Jesus was love. That's all he was. That's all he was. He healed people. He taught people. He warned people. He cared about people. If you don't want to believe in that he was the son of the Father, the Most High, the God that you don't recognize, that you don't identify with, that you don't acknowledge, but that's for a different video. But in the end of the day, I'm getting off topic with that whole thing, but I think you get my point. With the part that I said, you believe in oxygen, but you can't see it, and it keeps you alive. Same thing with God. My phone just cut out. Somebody called my fucking phone. Anyways, you believe in oxygen, but you can't see it, and it keeps you alive. Same thing with God, or spiritual warfare. You can't see that, but it's happening. Other realms we can't see that do exist, and we've scientifically found this out now if you do your research. And unless you experienced it, there would be no way to comprehend even the possibility of its existence. Think of this when you think of the act of gang stalking. It's on all levels, spiritual, physical, and it's even on a governmental level, like the police, government, court system, health system even. That's why it's almost impossible to prove or identify or know where it's coming from. Also, most people haven't developed a sense of conscious awareness that is required to identify this kind of phenomena. Real talk. They said Albert Einstein was crazy. Turns out he was a genius. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they try to do to people that figure things out, and then they stand up and they speak out in truth, like JFK. They get assassinated, they get silenced, they get censored, like Alex Jones, completely taken down, and you know what I mean? There's no such thing as freedom of speech. But anyways, that's my answer to that. There's a lot of shit going on that we can't see, that we can't prove, that is against logic, that is actually happening in real life right now. That is happening, really. What does that tell you? That answers the question, is gang stalking real? Yeah, it's real. There's a lot of things that are real that you don't believe in, that you can't comprehend, that there's no possible way for you to even see because you have not hit that conscious level yet. It's the same thing when you're a kid and you haven't, reached a certain point where you can read and write fluently. You know, you haven't hit certain realizations in life, and we continue to learn throughout our entire lives until we're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. There's things that we didn't believe all the way until we're 80 and found out were true 80 years later, and we're like, wow, you know. And then they're out there trying to tell other people that they made that mistake for 80 years and found out that, because they couldn't prove it was real, doesn't mean it's not real, and then that they made that mistake 80 years later and found out they were wrong. You don't want to be that person. You might not live 80 years, you know what I'm saying? So, in the end of the day, it is real. I didn't even know about it. I knew certain things when it came to gang stalking. There's levels to this, man. It's not something you can just describe in one video. There's so many levels of it's so complex. It's so well put together. It's designed in a way that if you tried to make an example out of it or prove it, it would decredit you and make you look uncredible. because it goes against logic, and they designed it, the whole program and the whole point of the entire thing goes against anybody's, the average person's logic. Okay, there you go. So of course they're gonna be like, that doesn't make sense. Of course they're gonna say that's impossible. Of course they're gonna say you're fucking paranoid, delusional, fucking schizophrenic. In reality, they're the ones that are mentally ill because they're denying the fucking truth. You can live in ignorance your entire life if you want, and die that way, and be untouched by anything. But it doesn't mean that you were right. It means you died wrong. You know what I'm saying? You were wrong. And that adds no value to this world at all. You know what I'm saying? So, this is not a game. You know what I'm saying? This shit is real. Anyways, Core Resilient signing off. Gang stalking is real. Being a targeted individual is real. If you want to know my experience, I'm gonna put a video right here so you can go check that out. It's over 30,000, 33,000 views and going up every day. That's my experience with gang stalking, or when I first realized that I was a targeted individual and this phenomenon was happening to me intentionally, and I wondered why people went out of their way to fuck with me so heavily. Organizations, people that are supposed to be helping, like when I was in a shelter and I was homeless, people that are supposed to be helping you work your way up to get out of there, these people were working against me. They were stealing my stuff. They were throwing it out. They were kicking me out with false accusations. They framed me 3 times and tried to have me falsely arrested, and the police even said that that they're now going to start investigating them because they've investigated me and found out what their claims were to be false, which is slandering. And now they're under the radar of the RCMP, and the RCMP said we're going to investigate them now. But the RCMP are also involved in it, and so is the court system, so is every system, the governmental system. Then all of a sudden my ID, every time I applied for my ID, it wouldn't show up anymore. 8 months I applied 3 times for my ID, and eventually after the 3rd time of it not showing up, I go back to Service BC and I say, this is the 3rd time, 8 months I've been waiting for ID. It's supposed to take 3 weeks. What the fuck is going on? And they're like, we have no idea. It hasn't been returned, never got returned. Where I was at a shelter where the mailman goes and puts it in a locked box. You can't get in it. It's like, even with bolt cutters, you can't pick it, there's nothing you can do to it. And everybody else got their mail. So that proves that the mail wasn't stolen. There was no way to get at the mail in the first place, which I investigated. I looked in the scene to see if somebody stole the mail or somebody got in the mailbox, or, you know what I mean? 3 times, 8 months, didn't show up. Ironically, after all this shit started happening to me and everything started surfacing, and this shit is just fucking crazy, man. This shit is nuts. And I didn't even believe and give a fuck about any of that shit, and then all of a sudden it started happening to me, and I'm wondering, what the fuck is this? This shit is fucking nuts. Why are people intentionally trying to fucking destroy me? People in a government organization, people in fucking the homeless shelters, people that are supposed to be housing agents and workers that are supposed to be helping me get housing. All this shit. When I end to hit rock bottom and I'm trying to work my way out, I don't have a drug addiction. I don't drink. I don't smoke cigarettes. I have no problems. I have no barriers. The only thing is there's no employment. There's no opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many layers. I made so many videos. You guys gotta hit my channel and watch all this shit, because this is nuts. And yeah, when it started happening to me, I started to realize a fucking pattern. I'm like, what the fuck? It drove me fucking crazy. I started to literally become delusional because I didn't understand, why the fuck is this happening to me? Why are these people that I'm supposed to trust, that are in a government organization, that work for the government, that get paid, that are supposed to follow protocol, that are supposed to follow rules and regulations, and the Tribunal Act and all these things that are supposed to protect, people like me, people like us, you know what I'm saying? And I found out a completely different, opposite reality. That shit blew my fucking mind. And then I stopped seeking help from the system. I stopped trying to gain housing from the fucking, I stopped trying to get employment from the unemployment office, because I went to all of these agencies and I fucking beggingly tried to gain help and was willing to work, motivated, willing to do all this stuff, and they completely deteriorated, destroyed me, and got rid of just crushed my motivation, my drive, everything in me. And these are the people that are supposed to be helping homeless people up, supposed to be helping people up that are down, that deserve a chance because they're willing to work with what is given to them. You know what I mean? There's no better candidate than me. That's somebody trying to, um, do better in their lives. Get a job, get a place. You know what I'm saying? I've met lots of people that have no drug problems, no issues, no mental issues, nothing. They had a house, cars, wife, kids, family, everything, and they had it all up. And then they got laid off for 6 months. He didn't get a job in time. Car payments failed. Lost the car. Oh shit. Now I can't get to work because I don't have a car. Oh shit. Now you can't pay your mortgage. Boom. You lost your house. Now you're living at your parents or you're living somewhere. That doesn't work out. Shit gets bitter. Bam. Now you end up in the shelter. Your wife ends up at her parents with the kids, and then you guys separate. She starts talking to somebody else. You lose your fucking wife. Now you're sitting there in the shelter. You lost everything: the house, the car, your kids, your fucking wife. She left. She went with somebody else because you were not there to provide. You were not there to intervene and connect with your wife, and you were separated, divided. To divide is to conquer, and that is exactly what the system is doing. That is exactly what it feels like to be a targeted individual or experience gang stalking. Now you see it. That is exactly how it happens. And it doesn't just happen to everybody and anybody. I'm going to make another video about that too. What makes a targeted individual a targeted individual? What gets you landed on that radar for you to start experiencing these attacks? There's multiple different levels to that as well, and I'm going to start making videos. For the next week, I'm making all gang stalking videos. I'm going to settle the score. I'm going to fucking say it for what it is. I made one video or two, both of them went viral, and there's too much fuckery involved. There's a lot of people pretending to be TIs and then trying to say that I'm not a TI when they have absolutely no fucking nothing. They're nobodies. Like, nobody knows. Listen, you're not just a targeted individual because you feel that way. Okay, that's not how it works. Okay, things start happening to you for 10 years strong to the point where it becomes intentional, and it's from government organizations. Everything I just told you, the shelters, every fucking thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, people are gonna switch up. Friends are gonna switch up. Parents, family, they're all gonna turn on you. They're gonna switch up. That doesn't mean you're a fucking targeted individual. Doesn't mean you're being gang stalked. Doesn't mean the phenomena is actually happening in your life. Okay, those things happen. Even Jesus said those things were gonna happen regardless. Period. Okay. Um, if you're a child of God, if you believe in Jesus, if you're a Christian, you're a targeted individual. Christians are killed and slaughtered for just being Christian, just taking that side, Jesus' side, which is the most. I'm not going to get into that, but every other religion, look at it versus Christianity. They're fucking psychotic. Muslims, fucking. I'm sorry, I don't care if everybody hates on me for this shit. Like, and I sound racist or something. I'm not racist, but this shit is psychotic. I've studied the Quran. I've studied all of the things. I've studied every religion, and I've had friends that are rooted in those religions that I grew up around to learn from them and see where they're coming from. And it's fucking delusional. The only one that is real and genuine coming from somebody off the street that grew up in the street that knows evil and knows good. I know a good person. I know an evil person trying to pretend they're a good person. I know the difference. You know what I'm saying? And Christianity is the only legitimate one. I've read the whole book, Bible, several times. Read the Quran. I did all the research there is for 10 years. Nobody can talk to me. I've dabbled in everything to know what I know now. You know what I'm saying? So, in the end of the day, if you speak out like I am right now, you become, there's levels. There's like, black, yellow, and red or something, levels. And, you hit, or gray or whatever, like, you know what I mean? You're not of a high risk. There's 3 levels. You hit the red level, you're high risk, as in you're literally exposing crucial, sensitive information that the government would like to keep suppressed, oppressed, like hidden. You know what I mean? And what gives you the authority to come and expose that to the masses and fuck up their program that there's millions of dollars behind, and that they're paying a lot of money to keep in place, and that they're, you know what I mean? So you're fucking up their program, and you could reach masses easily with a video on YouTube, and that would fuck them up tremendously. You know what I mean? And they know that from experience already. So that'll make you a targeted person. You may make videos for 5 years and you're not even on the radar yet, but then boom, 6 years later you might hit the gray mark, and now they're monitoring you. Then when they monitor you and you start saying certain things, certain keywords vocal recognition through Facebook, YouTube, all that shit. Believe it, they have facial recognition. Your words, certain words that are spoken on your channel are gonna get targeted, tagged, put aside. You're gonna get flagged, your channel, all that type of shit. And then you hit red, and that's when on foot organization starts attacking you. People start slandering you behind your back to your employers. All of a sudden your income gets cut off. All of a sudden, like say you're on welfare, disability, you know what I mean? I've seen people on disability get cut off, and they have no way. They're literally handicapped, and they're living in a homeless shelter. When I was there trying to get out, and I'm watching these people be destroyed by the system, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you can't get a job everywhere you go. Your resume is fine, and nobody's calling you. It's like you've been fucking listed, red flag, blacklisted type thing, which you have. There is a system that you get put in that stops employers from employing you for multiple reasons when they see that flag in their system. I've witnessed it happen when somebody read my name and they were so happy to have me, and then all of a sudden they read the name on the resume, typed something in, and then they looked at me weird and were like, I can't hire you. And I'm like, why? And they had no reasonable explanation. So there's shit like that starts happening. You'll know when you're at that point. You'll know, because your life will be completely destroyed. A lot of these people self-inflict these things into their lives. They manifest them. You got to be careful. You don't want to add yourself to something that you're not a part of and then become a part of it. You know what I'm saying? This is something that happened to me for a very, very long time, to the point where I was completely destroyed by it, to the point where I had to seek more information, and then I found out about gang stalking, connected the dots, and then it had a name now. It had a title. It had something I can identify. You know what I mean? It takes that long, but a lot of people like to add themselves to things that they're not a part of. You know what I'm saying? You don't have you pose no risk. You're on a fake YouTube channel that has no fucking picture. You pose no threat to the government. All the little shit that you say on Facebook reaches nothing. I've reached hundreds and thousands of people. I reach masses, bro. I fucking drop $1,000 behind a Facebook ad, behind a video that reaches over 1 million people. I've done that 5 years ago. I've been reaching masses for that long, and they've witnessed that I have the ability to reach millions of people whenever I want. Like, you know what I mean? I'm getting to that point, and they know that. That's the risk factor for them, is when I reach masses and they don't need no more of that. They need to fucking really put a foot down on the people that are exposing this shit, like Alex Jones, and that's what they've done. They've removed him from the internet. So you gotta be careful. But if you're not a child of God, if you're haven't been exposing Illuminati for fucking 10 years, and actually, like, you think your little 500 friends on fucking Facebook matter? No. I mean Facebook advertising, marketing. I started a social media marketing agency. These people know I'm a fucking threat. I have tools and skills and assets that will fucking fuck their program up and deflect it from affecting me and other targeted individuals. I can save and protect and teach how to protect themselves. I am a fucking power force. They know that. If you are not on that level, the level that I'm on, it took that long for me to be attacked on a fluent level. You know what I'm saying? Then you're not even looked at. You're not on gray, black, red. You're not even fucking there at all. So just chill the fuck out. Like, you know what I mean? You're forcing things into manifestations in front of yourself from thinking it out, and it's becoming your reality. You gotta back up. Even knowing that I'm a targeted individual and they have attacked every single aspect of my fucking life for all of my life, I still don't consume myself in gang stalking or targeted individual topics. I stay away from it. I don't consume myself in it. It's bad for the mind, spirit, and soul. Acknowledge it, recognize it, expose it here, there, and don't speak about it no more. If you witness things happening in front of you, acknowledge them for a second, and don't even acknowledge them. In fact, ignore the shit. Nothing's gonna happen to you. I have real hitters, killers, strikers, I can't talk too much, but I have real gangsters, real contract killers that have been hired by this party to kill me, and have attempted and failed and witnessed, and I've got word from other parties that this is happening. You have no fucking clue what it feels like to be a real targeted individual and have to live your life. It's fucked up. People think I'm crazy now because of the way I move around, the way that it's bad. That's why you don't want to get too consumed into it and allow yourself to react to the shit, because then it does decredit you and make you look psychotic. Makes you look fucking crazy, and it actually starts to make you go crazy. And that's the whole initiative of the program. So you can't allow that. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your shit together. You have to be organized like them. You have to be intelligent, intellectual, civilized like them. You have to move in a fucking frequency in a certain pattern that it's unpredictable, where they can't predict your next move, so they can't corner you and start fucking with you. You got to start moving right. That's why this happened to you. You have to realize you're a child of God, and that you have to wake up, change your lifestyle, change the way you think, change the way you act. Everything has to be changed, and this is why this is happening to you now. There's a reason. It's not a curse. It is a curse, but it's also a blessing. You gotta wake up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing this to empower. You know what I mean? Um, Other than that, there's your answer from a pretty well put together person. Nobody can say, "Oh, you're a crackhead, you fucking meth head, you do drugs." I don't do fucking drugs. I smoke weed, suck a dick. That's it. I don't even drink. I drink once in a while. I have a beer. You know what I'm saying? I'm 27 years old in October. I'm fucking grown, bro. I already learned my life. If I was gonna be a junkie, I would be a fucking junkie right now. I'm not. You know what I mean? I was young. I used to sell drugs. Yeah, I popped E here. Yeah, I did a line of coke here. So what? Every teenager did. I've never been a fucking drug addict. You know what I'm saying? I've sold drugs to drug addicts when I was young to make money. I was never a loser. I was a winner. I was never a consumer. I was a producer. That's me. That's Corey. Resilient. That's sincere music. Check my resume. Do research on me. I don't care. Whatever. That's who I've always been. But a lot of people, that's another thing with targeted individuals. When you get somebody like me, where the system tries to destroy someone like me, like try to destroy somebody like Tupac, he flipped the whole script on the motherfuckers. Because there's no way you can decredit somebody that's so well put together and doesn't do drugs, doesn't do anything for you to be like, oh, there's your problem. There's nothing they can say to me. It's fucking hilarious. I enjoy it. You have to as well. You got to get your shit together so you can get on that level where nobody can say that there's something wrong with you, because you're so right that how the fuck could you be wrong? That's how you do it. That's how you flip the script. Stop going like this and chirping about fucking red, blue, and black and all the color coded fucking cars that come around. Shit is pointless, useless documentation of fucking a phenomena you cannot prove. It's making you look stupid, and it's making the rest of us look stupid. Focus on what you can fucking do in the end of the day. Stay on point. Stay resilient. Peace out.